I work for children's hospices across Scotland, which is better known as CHAS. We provide unwavering care and support to children who may die young and their families. We support children across Scotland, and we provide support for the whole family, whether that's siblings, the child, or the wider family. It's really important that everything we do considers child protection. It's embedded in everything we do at CHAS. We have lots of volunteers and members of staff who work with families directly, either in their own homes, in hospital, or in our 2 hospices. So it's really important that when we pick up on anything that's not right, we're able to act on that. If we understand that there may have been harm that has been caused, or there's been a potential to risk of harm, we have to investigate. At that point in time, with a volunteer, we would ask them to step back from their volunteer role. For a member of staff, we might ask them to take on other duties away from working directly with children and families while we investigate. If we confirm that something has happened, that harm has occurred, or a child's been put at increased risk of harm, we will absolutely make a decision to dismiss that volunteer or that member of staff. We also have a legal responsibility to make referrals when we make the decision about dismissing a volunteer or a member of staff, and we have to do that legally within 3 months.
I work for Scottish Care, and we are a membership organisation. We support predominantly independent but some third and not-for-profit organisations in the care sector. Our members are mainly care homes and care at home and housing support providers. My role is the workforce lead, so I'm there to support all workforce related issues. As a membership organisation, we are certainly here to support our care providers. I myself, as the workforce lead, hold regulatory forum meetings, which is an opportunity for providers to come together and discuss legislation and regulatory requirements so that they are fully involved and fully aware of their requirements and their obligations in that role. So it's really important for our care providers to make referrals to Disclosure Scotland, because they have to make sure that they're meeting the criteria of the legislation itself. There's 2 parts in that criteria. One is if they become aware that there is a potential risk of harm, and the second part is that if they would move to dismiss that staff member, then that is meeting the criteria and they are obligated to report that to Disclosure Scotland. There's also a time period in place there, so there is a 3-month period of time in which they have to make that referral, and it is an offence for the organisation if they don't make that referral, so that is their requirement as a care provider delivering care under the regulations. So if an individual moves on from the organisation and leaves before the manager has carried out the investigation, the manager still does have a duty to refer if the decision would have or might have been that that individual would be dismissed and they would no longer be able to carry out regulated work.
Even if the police are involved in a situation, we would still make a referral to Disclosure Scotland in the same way as if we had the volunteer been dismissed by us directly. If we get to a point where we might have dismissed that individual or permanently removed them from regulated work, we would still make the referral to Disclosure Scotland.
At all times, we would recommend that organisations speak directly to Disclosure Scotland. They are able to get advice, guidance and support in any part of the procedure, and we would always recommend to organisations.
If organisations aren't sure of the legislative criteria, or they're not sure if a referral should be made or not, I would definitely encourage people to get in touch directly with Disclosure Scotland. They'll be able to point you in the direction of the next steps to take, and will be able to advise you into whether you should be making a referral or not.
We are very lucky to be able to access lots of training resources directly from Disclosure Scotland. We have held webinars in the past, and there is usually weekly webinars that we can access that are free for our members, and we signpost them quite often to that. We've also had webinars that we've run directly in partnership with Scottish Care and Disclosure Scotland that can really be tailored to the issues that our members might be experiencing or tackle specific things that are arising. For example, with COVID, we were able to have lots of great discussions and provide really bespoke support to members during that period of time.